This is the iPhone 12 mini. I've had it for around 48 hours and these are my initial thoughts. The size. The main reason people are buying the iPhone 12 mini, let's be honest, is the size. I personally have been longing to go back to a smaller phone ever since I got rid of my iPhone 5S. It's the same reason I had the XS over the XR or the Max, and it's the reason I've upgraded to the 12 this year. To be perfectly honest, I could have easily got another year out of my XS, maybe even a few more than that. So the question on everybody's lips is how small actually is the mini? So in front of me here I have 4 generations of iPhones. That's not the last 4, it's just 4 different generations. You may be coming from an older model or last year's model. Let's have a look. This is the iPhone 5S, the iPhone XS, the iPhone 11, and the iPhone 12 mini. Comparing the sizes, obviously the iPhone 11 is by far the largest and the smallest is by far the 5S. But here you can see there's quite a significant difference between the iPhone 12 mini and the iPhone XS from a couple of years ago. It looks like to me that Apple have tried to hit that sweet spot between the really small 5S and the smaller form factor of the 10 and XS models. And just for fun, let's compare it to some other items you might have laying around your house. This is the iPhone 12 mini compared to an iPod Nano. Here's the iPhone 12 mini compared to a standard deck of cards. Here's the iPhone 12 mini compared to a Game Boy Color. Here's the iPhone 12 mini compared to a GoPro Hero Silver 4. Here's an iPhone 12 mini compared to a Field Notes notebook. Looking at all these size comparisons, you can see that the iPhone 12 mini definitely is mini. The form factor. My favourite iPhone of all time was the iPhone 5S. I never had the SE, but essentially they're both the same. And let me say that again, was. The iPhone 12 mini has now taken that spot as my favourite iPhone of all time. With the larger AMOLED edge-to-edge display, minus the notch of course, and its beautifully tactile, rounded off aluminium side rails, I am in love with this phone. Losing the chamfer on the side rails in favour of a roundover is a subtle but satisfying improvement over the 5S. If you've bought one of the recent generations of iPad Pro or iPad mini, you will know how satisfying that is. There are a few things that I still think the 5S has in favour over the 12 mini. I would happily give up wireless charging to bring back the aluminium back. I'm just not that excited about MagSafe yet. And I miss the days of no camera bump. The relocation of the sleep wake button to the side means you can no longer stand the iPhone 12 mini on the long edge as sturdily as you could the 5S. This was great when you was taking self-timer photos or maybe setting up for a long time lapse. In every other respect, the iPhone 12 mini is the iPhone SE2 that everyone really wanted, except maybe for the price. The battery life. They say all good things come in small packages. However, if there is one thing to which this doesn't apply, that's batteries. And in the case of the iPhone 12 mini, that is no exception. You will have by now worked out that the smaller form factor of the iPhone 12 mini means it has a smaller battery than any of the other iPhones. So how bad actually is the battery life? Well, to be honest, I've seen about the same performance as I see from my iPhone XS. I've gotten comfortably through the day with around 5 hours of screen on time. And do I really want to be on my phone for more than 5 hours a day? Probably not. I've yet to test the battery in any truly power hungry tasks like shooting continuously in 4K for instance, but for most people, on most days, the battery's going to be just fine. The cameras. In the limited amount of time I've had the iPhone 12 mini, I haven't really had the chance to put the cameras to the test. But I was able to take these shots in some difficult lighting conditions, and I can confirm the cameras are good. In particular, I was impressed with the portrait selfie mode, which is a significant improvement over my XS. If you'd like me to do a more in-depth camera review on the iPhone 12 mini, just let me know down in the comments and I will think about it. So what's my overall verdict? There are plenty of things I haven't had time to test in the iPhone 12 mini in the short amount of time that I've been using it. And yes, there are some things I would like to take from the Pro. But I can tell you this, I am so happy that Apple have decided to once again make a smaller iPhone. Not everyone has ginormous hands and not everyone wants to carry an iPad around in their pocket. And now we no longer have to decide between size and specs. If you like this video, then give me a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you would like more of this type of content, then hit that subscribe button. While you're down there, why not hit the bell? Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.